We're going to be learning tonight about the Midah of Netzach, the attribute of Netzach, which could loosely be translated to many different words: tenacity, dominance, perseverance, victory. Right, a whole bunch of different words. But we'll let the book define Be'ezrat Hashem. So, Mahut Midat Netzach. What is the Mahut of the Midah Netzach? The idea of Netzach is the ability to Netzach, to be victorious, be'akshanut ve'azud kedusha, with tenacity and holy brazenness. Vitgaber bekoach ratzon chazak me'od, to overcome with a strong will, very strong will, on all the different preventions and obstacles that we have. Latzliach le'ovil et inyan le'tzia lefal, to be successful in bringing an idea out into actions, into this world, right? בספירת הנצח, השם יתברך מנצח כביכול את מי שמנסה למנוע את השפע שהוא רוצה להשפיע. By way of the sphere of Netzach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to say, is Menatzach, is victorious over anything and anybody that is coming to disrupt the shefa that Hashem wants to bring down into the world. כגון קליפות שמנסות למנוע את ההתגלות האלוקית בכללות הבריאה, such as klipot that try to prevent the general revelation of Hashem in the creation. Itgaluto b'sfirat netzach, when Hashem reveals Himself by way of the midah of Netzach, Hashem yitbarach mitgaber alehem, Hashem overcomes them, umotzi lefol et rotzono, and Hashem brings out into actuality His will, v'et gilui yichudo, and in the revelation of His unification. Ve'en mi sheyochal la'amod negdo, there's no one that can stand in the way of Netzach. What is the work in Netzach? L'itakesh lachzik ba'avodat Hashem yitbarach, to be tenacious and to be perseverant in holding on to your service of Hashem. When Hashem yitbarach starts to bring the light of Netzach on a person, then the light of Hashem is revealed in a person by way of the midah of Netzach. Then this light causes a person to feel loyalty, immense loyalty to Hashem. Emunah is rooted in Netzach as well, right? V'hu mikabel bezeh koach gadol. Person receives big power by way of this, to overcome all of those that are opposing the revelation of Hashem in the world. Specifically, your own Yetzara. This is the work of the midah of Netzach, to overcome, to be victorious, your Yetzara and all of his claims that he makes against you, in order for you to really in truth do the will of Hashem. And to stand strong with tenacity, with holy brazenness, and with loyalty, with emunah, with loyalty. Right? We've said this a few times. Emunah comes from the word ne'emanut, loyalty. Right? If I know something in my head and I believe it in my heart, I have emunah in my heart, that means that I bring what I know in my head, I'm loyal to that knowledge, and I act accordingly, right? And you push through and you're persevering to fight the Yetzirah and to do the will of Hashem against all of the chances, against all of the logical calculations that a person could make, right? Netzach pushes through all of that. This ability everybody has, even when you don't have mochin, you don't have the intellect, you don't have the will, and you don't have the emotion, right? A person doesn't feel this immense love for Hashem at a certain time in his life. Even though that's the case, after you already had once an illumination of love in your heart, right now the loyalty to Hashem is already, it becomes like a second nature to you. Not second nature, it becomes nature to you, right? Right, and by way of Netzach, a person is able to hold on to the service of Hashem, that you shouldn't fall, even in the times that the love is not felt in the heart. The midah of Netzach, right? You put it here in brackets. Netzach in our generation specifically is very, very needed, and it is impossible to ascend on the mountain of Hashem without it. Every single person goes through tests, goes through kadmon, goes through trials and different hardships, right? Everybody's going through that. V'im ein lo midat hanetzach, if you don't have this ability to be persevering and to be tenacious and to push through, l'natzeach v'lachzik chazak b'nisayon, to be strong and to persevere and to hold on strong when you're going through a test. How are you ever going to be able to ascend to the next level? Your whole life you're going to be ascending and descending on the same level. In order to ascend to the next level, you have to go through tests. And specifically the test of katnut, meaning they take away all of your feelings, all of your emotions. You don't feel Hashem with you. Nothing feels right. Right? How are you going to act then? That's specifically when you have to push through. Therefore, every single Jew has to acquire this holy trait. You have to acquire power and ability of your nefesh to be tenacious with holiness above all logic and reason. And the ability of Netzach, the power of Netzach, you'll be able to overcome your Yetzer Hara and all of his claims that he makes you against you. No matter what situation you'll be in, you're going to strengthen yourself to keep on fighting the war of Hashem, and to be loyal to Hashem. Right? It's very, very important things. The negative side of what the fallen light of Netzach, right? The sul mira, the go away from bad in the midah of Netzach is to overcome our stubbornness towards bad things, and our brazenness of klipa, of negative things. And specifically on this idea of what's called mockery, of foolishness, of being a clown, being a fool, right? I'm just going to go on a little tangent here about foolishness in a footnote. Foolishness, right? Mockery is the ability of Netzach in the negative side, right? Without any intellect, without any consciousness, without any knowledge. Right? There's different types of bad in the world, and most of them have some kind of method, some kind of dat, there's some kind of thought, there's some kind of depth to this negative thing in the world, right? Right? Even though there's a mistake here, right? Their dat is mistaken, right? They think that they have something. A fool, a clown, he doesn't have dat, he doesn't have an opinion, he doesn't have real knowledge, right? And he's not making any claims. The whole entire idea of the fool is to and mockery is to like downplay the truth, to put down the truth. Without putting up any other opposing side, just to negate what the truth is, right? Right? Foolishness is like their thing is like nothingness, it's just like emptiness, vanity. Foolishness says you don't need consciousness at all, you don't need intellect at all, right? The clown thinks that everything's empty. Like he himself doesn't have anything inside, he doesn't have any consciousness. He thinks that nobody has. Therefore everything for him is cheap, everything is like it's not meaningful. Right? Think that everything's empty, so then nothing has meaning, nothing has depth to it. Therefore it says, right, one kind of mockery can push off 100 different rebukes. Right? Rebuking a person, telling someone, hey, listen, it means you have dat. You saw how they act, they could act better. You can see one thing from another, and you're trying to tell them, hey, listen, you could be acting better. Mockery doesn't argue with intellect, with consciousness in a straight way. It says, no, this is all foolishness, this is all nonsense, there's no even need for anything you're saying. Therefore one joke, one mockery can push away all of 100 rebukes. Because it doesn't take, right? You come to a person, for example, say, hey, listen, you give them a list of 100 things that they're doing wrong, right? A normal person, that's not a fool, he's going to look at the list of the 100 things, and he's going to see, okay, this you're right, no, this one, I don't know where you got that from, but that one too, I don't know where that's from, that I don't know where, okay, with this one you're right, You're going to go through a list, right? He's going to be left with 30 things at least out of the 100 that you were right and he needs to work on. But the fool who says that there's no consciousness to anything, everything is nonsense, right? So you give him a list of 100 things where he can improve himself, and he pushes the whole thing away. Because none of it makes sense. So he doesn't even look at one individually because nothing has meaning. So all the list of 100 individual things just gets thrown out the window, right? So even though it's empty, this idea of mockery, it's such an empty thing in the world, it still pulls a lot of people. Because it doesn't obligate you to anything. It allows a person to be empty and still to feel good with himself. Right? And it's written in Mishle, right? The only way you can get a fool to make tshuva is by way of hardships. Hashem is the only way he can get the person is like chas v'chalil, to give him sickness, to take away his money, whatever it is, right? Right? The only thing that they cannot push away with their complete mockery is the hardships they're going to go through. That is so real that they can't get rid of it, right? They can't. Someone who's looking for da'at, looking for consciousness, truth, right? Even though he might be mistaken along the path, if he stays strong on his search, he's going to get to the truth, right? You're looking for da'at, you're going to find it. Right? Since he's looking for the truth, then there's a way to explain to him, there's a way to try to convince him. Right? The fool, he says, there's no other side. I'm not even like, I'm just negating everything. Nothing means anything, right? So this is very, very bad midah. Now going back in the book, the whole entire idea of azut, of brazenness, and of foolishness and mockery, the idea that it arouses in a person some kind of desire for nonsense, right? For foolishness. This light belongs to Netzach. This light was sent to you in order for you to overcome your obstacles and to fight the war of Hashem and to be strong. Since we have sins, the power was given to the klipa to overcome and to cover up this light and to make it appear to us as if the power is by way of the klipa, right? And then instead of this light coming to the person in a clear way, and the Jew will see and feel that from Shamayim they're giving him the ability in his soul to overcome the evil and to stand in all of the hardships instead of that, it gets engrossed and covered inside this garment, right? Until it appears to the person that they're pushing him to be brazen and to be a fool and to be a clown and to go do nothing, to do empty things. How do you rectify this? First things first, you have to get over the foolishness. You have to get over the brazenness. Meaning to go away from them and not to do them. Meaning completely to run away from being stubborn about physical things and even more about things that are forbidden. It's straight away, as soon as you run away from them and you manage to separate from yourself from the lust to go do something stupid or something foolish or to be stubborn about physical things that don't really matter and that are going to change with the time, right? As soon as you overcome that, go into the feeling of victory, of dominance, of tenacity and holiness, to be tenacious against all the obstacles, to do the right thing in the world, to not let anything stop you. Meditate on that more and more. And every time you feel this litzanud, this foolishness, this mockery arousing in you, or a coldness in your heart towards the Avodat Hashem, straight away you go into the work of Netzach to completely intensify the fire of loyalty to Hashem with huge might, as much as you can, right? And the yichud for Netzach, the point, the nekudah of the name of Hashem is obviously Yud Ke Vav Ke with what's called Chirik, right? The one single dot underneath each one. When a person wants to arouse the power of Netzach in your soul, have intention on this name and try to go into the feelings of the ability to have tenacity and holy brazenness, to be loyal to Hashem and to overcome your Yetzer Hara. And by way of the thoughts, the auspicious thoughts that you can have on this name, you will have brought down on you the light of Netzach, and this will help you to arouse in your soul more and more this feeling of victory, to overcome your Yetzer. This also allows you to arouse the feelings of holy tenacity Right? And it also helps you to get out of the foolishness and the nonsense that is and the coldness that's come into your heart. Straight away when you feel cold, you feel like a fool, you feel like a clown, you think like nothing matters and everything's empty, straight away you go into this meditations on Netzach. To increase in your heart the fire of loyalty, and from that, thinking on the name, the holy name in your heart, you increase these feelings more and more in your heart, right? In your head, you contemplate the name, and in your heart, you're increasing the feelings of victory and tenacity and overcoming all of the obstacles that you can come by. Right? So where is this rooted, this ability to overcome things? Right? The shoresh, the root of the power of Netzach, is by way of the knowledge of Hashem, that Hashem is the one that's truly doing, and He's the one doing everything, and all of the creations, they're nothing in front of Him. Because by way of a person knowing this, right, then he's not afraid of anything in the world, and he's going to be able to stand tenacious, right, and to go against all of the avodah zarah in the world, all of the falseness, all of the idols, without any fear, right? And this is the power of Mordechai Yehudi, power of Netzach. So stand against everybody. וכוחו נבע מאמונה ביראה שהייתה לו, שידע בבירור שרק עשיית רצון השם יתברך וקידוש שמו וביטול וביזוי הקליפות, רק זה שמציל, כי רק זה האמת. Right? Mordechai knew that it's only by way of standing against the klipa and disgracing the klipa with all of your might, right? Completely not giving in for 1 second, right? Standing in front of Haman and in front of his face, in front of everybody, embarrassing him. Right? That's the only way you can, by doing the will of Hashem and sanctifying His name. ולהפך, הכניעה לאחווי הראש והאכילה לסעודתו מתוך רצון למצוא חן בעיניו היא הסכנה האמיתית. Right? The opposite is true as well, right? That going to Achashverosh's meal in order to try to find grace and favor in his eyes and giving in to the Avodah Zarah, giving in to the idol, giving into the power that is not Hashem, right? That appears as if he's powerful. That was what was the main danger. That's what caused all the problems of Purim. And this is what's hinted to Ish Yehudi shekafar b'avodah zarah. Right? Mordechai was Ish Yehudi. What's Ish Yehudi? What is a Jewish man? A person that kofar b'avodah zarah, a heretic to avodah zarah, a person that disgraces idol worship in the world. Kol Ish Yisrael kofar b'avodah zarah. Ma miyuchad b'Mordechai. Every Jew should be a person that's against avodah zarah. What's special about Mordechai that he was called this? Mordechai kafar b'chol minei avodat zarot sheyesh. Mordechai went against all the different types of idols in the world. Even against the fine little ones of going to a meal, but the king invited you, right? Everything. He knew that there's nothing at all. Clear knowledge, there's nothing besides Hashem in the world, right? And this was the power that Mordechai had. So how do you rectify? What's the completion of Netzach? It's to recognize that Hashem is the one that's doing everything, and to act according to that. The power of Netzach is our power as creations to be tenacious and to act and to do and to be victorious and to overcome. There's a danger here. You're able to get, by way of this, to a feeling of, hey, look at my might. My hand did this, right? I'm the one that's pushing hard. I was the one that's tenacious and persevering. And look, I did it. Therefore, you have to rectify it by way of the midah of Hod and Yesod. Right? Purim is Netzach. Chanukah and Tu B'Shvat are Hod and Yesod. What comes first? Chanukah, Hod recognizes all Hashem. Yesod, and then Netzach. Hod, what is the idea? Hod is the idea of admitting the truth. To admit everything is just from Hashem. And Yesod, what is the idea of Yesod? To connect everything to Hashem in actuality. Everything that I experience, to bring it back to Hashem. When you have both of these traits, then even more so, you can be tenacious, you can be victorious, you can be dominant, but not from a feeling that I have something, I have power, I did something. Only from a recognition that the person is completely leaning on Hashem, and only from His power and His knowledge and His truth is anybody able to stand tenaciously against any obstacle. And the rectified Netzach, right, on the level of rectified Netzach, it's not that there's no creation at all. There's not a creation as something separate. But you do have a vessel, a creation as a vessel for revealing the supernal light, without any ego that is covering up the truth. And the creation feels, meaning the human being feels, Hashem is the power that is acting towards through me. He's the only true reality, and there's nothing besides that. So this leads to a proper way of life, right? A proper rectified Netzach leads to a true life. This is the end-all be-all of the creation. That a person should go out and act and do, but from a complete recognition that Hashem is the only doer. And when you merit to this level, to go out and to be victorious and dominant and persevering and tenacious with holy brazenness, from a recognition that the power is only from Hashem, then you can, Bizat Hashem, go out and act in the proper way, without pride, right, from your successes, and without depression from your failures. To act with quickness and with goals and aspirations, without getting weak and without getting lazy. But also without too much stress and pushing too much and doing too much and burning yourself out. Because all of our actions are only done in order for the honor of Hashem. And therefore a person should be happy with the outcomes. Whatever it will be, it will be. If this is what Hashem wanted, then it's not about what I want, right? This is what I want. If this is what Hashem wants, this is what I want. Be'ezat Hashem Yitbarach. Help us here for Netzach. Stay live. We're going to be doing another shiur very soon.